Blessings, beloveds. We are here to share another meditation with you today, really for support for being with conflict, which is, of course, a part of the human condition. And we're just going to take a few moments to orient into that space, and then you're welcome to gather a blanket or a pillow or bottle of water, whatever you might need to be comfortable for the meditation. Get you ready. And remembering, like when we drink a lot of water, have a lot of water in our bodies, we're more able to access intuition, which is very handy these days, right? Um, so, so conflict, human conflict. It really is a part of life. It's really pretty much impossible to navigate around it. We have, professional times when that comes up or in our personal lives. And we're seeing it really escalate at the global level, of course, as well, where it magnifies to the point of war and other atrocities. And conflict is a part of life. And human drama is another thing. That's another thing entirely. It can be related. But we fall into drama when we either feel victimized or we become a persecutor, a prosecutor, and or a predator. And of course, there's also like the victim and the rescuer roles. And ideally, we want to stay out of all of those roles in the drama triangle. Because when we're in any of them, we tend to vacillate between all the different roles, and it's really an unhealthy way to exist in the world. And so, yeah, but conflict is just conflict. So Carolyn Mace tells us that all thoughts, words, and deeds are either prayers or daggers. And we probably know from knowing ourselves that it's really impossible or very, very challenging to never have a thought that feels like it may be predatory on another person. So we may suddenly find ourselves triggered, and those thoughts come into our consciousness, and we can really like do the deep dive into who we be and how we want to show up in the world and clean those things up before they're expressed. And I think that that is part of the work that we're here to do on the planet as part of evolving out of human conflict. But in the meantime, this is what we've got. We've got a world that's full of conflict. And so we can often find ourselves fielding others' envy or projections or blame or shame, and being able to come into a space of getting back into our own energy field and not feeling those energy daggers coming at us can be a great way to relax our nervous systems and do the deeper dive to find out what the wisdom is that may be there for us. And so we're going to do a process today that will allow us to clear our own energy field and to clear our space as well. So it may be our office or our cubicle or our home or other place that's really important to us. And so we can bring these energies in and really offer us the support that we need to go deeper into our own life experience. So, without further ado, how about if we go ahead and get into that meditation? And so I want to invite you to relax, get into a comfortable pose, whew, whether you are sitting with your body gently supported, or whether you feel like laying down. You can even be in a fetal position. This is a process that I use to clean my field and my space as well. I do it every single day. And so I thought it would be useful for you, but you may want to engage in this process every night before you go to bed or every morning when you wake up in order to give yourself that extra support as you go through life. It will keep that energy field active in your space for about 24 hours before it dissipates. So it's so important for that. So hopefully you are in a comfortable pose right now. I'm actually going to offer you some Reiki, and then we'll go into the Stargate meditation. So just relax for a moment and feel into feel into your body and your breath. And just take a few nice deep breaths as we get started today. I'm going to share with you some Reiki symbols, and you won't see me drawing or hear me speaking them, but just know that I'm beginning to transmit Reiki to you now by drawing and sharing the power symbol for your empowerment, the mental emotional symbol for your peace and serenity, mental and emotional balance, and also the distance symbol, which is so empowering for you living into your dharma or destiny of aligning with your spiritual path. And then we have our master symbols, a beautiful holy fire symbol. And then we also have the master symbol from our beloved Dr. Yusui. We also have a couple of Sanskrit master symbols that I learned from a former version, which I still find really, really powerful for healing and for grounding and for accessing our higher wisdom. And finally, we're going to draw the 8 Karuna symbols. Just let yourself open to receive as the Reiki energies flow through you, if you desire it, only with your consent. But just letting yourself feel these beneficial energies, all this different range of frequencies that are coming through for you to support you. I just felt called to enjoy a nice, vibrant exhale of any stressors or anxiety or fears that we may be holding. And so if it feels right for you, you can also allow yourself a nice auditory exhale. When we get ready for a Stargate meditation, the Reiki energies will continue to flow to us if during the meditation, and if we are choosing to receive them. And you may know that we begin our Stargate meditations by inviting the energies of Mother Earth to come up into our space. We call for the energies of Mother Earth, each one of us asking inside, and just feeling as she expands her aura all the way up into the space where we are, inviting our energies to commingle and to feel her loving support for us on our path. And then we may imagine stargates, or even just a pyramid will do if you're not certain what a stargate looks like. but it is a sacred geometrical portal and conduit for higher levels of consciousness that help to support and heal and guide and elevate our consciousness in such beautiful ways. So you may imagine little stargates in every cell of your body and your chakras over you. You may have one over your home, over the place where you work, any place else where you feel called to add the stargate frequencies. And just imagine them in all those little wonderful places where you wish that support. And then we call for the activation of all of the stargates that we have imagined. Each one of us asking inside again to build the field together. And then just feel as those energies begin to expand through the dimensions, going from the third dimension to the fourth. Just relaxing, nothing to do. As we accelerate once more into the fifth dimension, into the sixth, and into the seventh dimension, where we gently pause and we call for a strong seven-dimensional field in all of our etheric stargates. And since all the stargates in the world are all connected to one another, all around the world there's a strong seventh-dimensional field preparing to escalate once more into the eighth dimension, and the ninth, the 10th, the 11th, and finally into the 12th dimension. And we call for a strong 12th dimensional field in all of our etheric stargates. And just allow yourself to relax into the frequencies, feel their support, feel the protection, feel the love, feel the beautiful loving energies of the Stargate as a technology that is here to support our conscious evolution into our heart consciousness, into more of our psychic and intuitive capacity, into our unity consciousness. Such a gift. And we call for the presence of the angels to come into the space, each one of us asking inside. We welcome the presence of the angels here in all of our stargates, and just feel as they bring their energy of unconditional love to support us, to elevate the heart consciousness in all of our spaces and inside of ourselves. And I feel them reminding us that even though human conflict is an inconvenient truth of our reality, of where humans are at this time in our evolution, there is such important wisdom that can come from conflict. It's an amazing teacher. As we experience conflict, we may explore where we give our power away or where we try to overpower others. We may explore where we lack boundaries or where we may override other people's boundaries. We may get a sense of where we may act without integrity, or where in our lives we may lack faith and trust and therefore fall into fear. Fear of being victimized. And as we mentioned earlier, we want to stay out of that victim consciousness, which is easier said than done in this day and age. But there are healthier approaches to navigating the conflict and the drama on Earth. And we aspire that this meditation may bring you those insights, bring you that support. I feel like we've all been going through such a rough ride. Um, Maybe not in all of the areas of our lives, but in some sense, the crumbling of the structures in our world is activating uh, an ego death of sorts. And so we may be feeling those dark night of the soul energies permeating our lives, at least in some ways. We may feel like we're in unfamiliar territory, as Dorothy would say. We're not in Kansas anymore. And what the heck are these winds of change bringing? So just feel the love and the beautiful spirits of the angels surrounding you now, holding you in unconditional love as you navigate these tumultuous times, honoring you for being here on earth, for choosing to be part of the shift in consciousness that we're all navigating. Beautiful. And let us also invite the presence of the archangels. Each one of us asking inside, we call for the presence of the archangels who wish to support us at in this now. And of course, you're a choice to say yes, please, or no, thank you to any visitors or any support. But we often feel Archangel Raphael coming in and really wanting to support our healing. Maybe there are some stories of human conflict that are still circulating through our energy field or through our minds, through our hearts, where we may receive healing for those. And there may be an actual intrusion in our energy. There may be, someone with those feelings of blame or envy or projection. And we may know the source of that, or we may be completely unaware, but just feel the distortion in the energy. And oftentimes it can come from non-personal or even non-physical sources. And so it can be a great mystery to navigate at times. But whatever the source is, known or unknown, we may receive protective support from some of these beings who are offering to come through the Stargate today. And one of those would be Archangel Michael, who is often seen with his sword as a great protector for us. And indeed, Michael does serve as in that capacity in such amazing ways. And so if you're feeling called, you may invite Archangel Michael to come closer and closer. I will share that there are ways of asking Archangel Michael to hold his blade in such a way that any energy that comes at us will be reflected back to its source. And this is kind of like a mirror for like a witchy incantation that sends all bad juju back to the one who sent it. And although there can be some utility in this approach, I've also seen where this just creates a ricochet of energy going back and forth that can prolong human conflict and make it harder to find a resolution in our hearts because the energy just remains unstable for so long. And so just holding that in your awareness if that feels resonant with you. And if not, that's okay. You can just let that go. And you can just say, get back to where you came from and leave it at that. But I actually feel like gaining the wisdom from whatever happens where conflict arises in our lives can help us to come back into our hearts and to help us come back into a space of unconditional love for ourselves, for whatever mistakes we've made or where we've let ourselves down. One of the things I try and remember is that all betrayal is self-betrayal. And so really turning my experiences inward to see where I could show up in a better way next time. But as we integrate these lessons, we may find ourselves coming into a space of unconditional love and compassion for those with whom we have experienced conflict as well, where we can come into this space of with complete self-truth and honesty, honoring the beauty of that other person, honoring the creations of their soul that are coming forth into the world, and showering them with heartfelt blessings for all that they create and that all that they touch in the world be blessed infinitely. And this just feels like a more empowering way to approach human conflict. So allow yourself to feel the archangels and the angels supporting you. And you may feel called to ask Michael to hold his blade in such a way, or to send the energies back, or you may ask for the deeper wisdom to come through by and by. Conflict can so often activate changes in our appetite, where we're eating too much or too little, or digestion is off, or we're sleeping too much or too little, or our minds are just complete runaway trains. And all of these things are maybe a necessary part of our healing. And also honoring that it's probably not a place where we want to stay stuck. So how do we return to our hearts? And to that effect, I feel called to invite nature spirits to come into the space. We call for the presence of the nature spirits, and these may be the beauty of the blossoms that are coming onto the trees and the flowers at this time, and the beautiful strength and flexibility of the tree spirits who show us how to navigate the seasons for so long. And to all of the animal kingdom, the winged kingdom, the cutie crawler kingdom, all of the beautiful spirits. And as I was walking this morning, there were deer sign everywhere, and I felt called to bring in a message about deer medicine. And this one comes from Jamie Sams and David Carson in their medicine cards. And the medicine of deer is gentleness. And they say, "Dear, so gentle and loving you are, the flower of kindness and embrace from afar. And as I continue to read, you can let yourself feel the medicine of deer or any other nature spirits that come through for you with healing and support. So this is the story. One day, Fawn heard Great Spirit calling to her from the top of Sacred Mountain. Fawn immediately started up the trail. She didn't know that a horrible demon guarded the way to Great Spirit's lodge. The demon was trying to keep all the beings of creation from connecting with Great Spirit. He wanted all of Great Spirit's creatures to feel that Great Spirit didn't want to be disturbed. This would make the demon feel powerful and capable of causing them to fear him. Fawn was not at all frightened when she came upon the demon. This was curious, as the demon was the archetype of all the ugly monsters that have ever been. The demon breathed fire and smoke and made disgusting sounds to frighten Fawn. Any normal creature would have fled or died on the spot from fright. Fawn, however, said gently to the demon, "Please let me pass. I'm on the way to see Great Spirit." Fawn's eyes were filled with love and compassion for this oversized bully of a demon. The demon was astounded by Fawn's lack of fear. No matter how he tried, he could not frighten Fawn because her love had penetrated his hardened, ugly heart. Much to the demon's dismay, his rock-hard heart began to melt, and his body shrank to the size of a walnut. Fawn's persistent love and gentleness had caused the meltdown of the demon. Due to his gentleness and caring that Fawn embodied, the pathway is now clear for all of Great Spirit's children to reach Sacred Mountain without having to feel the demons of fear blocking their way. Deer teaches us to use the power of gentleness to touch the hearts and minds of wounded beings who are trying to keep us from Sacred Mountain. Like the dappling of Fawn's coat, both the light and the dark must be loved to create gentleness and safety for those who are seeking peace. If Deer has gently nudged its way into your cards today, you are being asked to find the gentleness of spirit that heals all wounds. Stop pushing so hard to get others to change and love them as they are. Apply gentleness to your present situation and become like the summer breeze, warm and caring. This is your tool for solving the present dilemma you are facing. If you use it, you will connect with Sacred Mountain, your centering place of serenity, and Great Spirit will guide you. I love that message. So just let yourself feel that in your heart for a moment. See how it lands for you. Beautiful. Dear says, thank you for receiving her heart and her message. And now we would like to invite the presence of the ascended masters. And I could feel Yeshua really wanting to come through with his message and his embodiment of Christed consciousness, of pure unconditional love. And so if it feels right, asking inside, we call for the presence of the ascended masters and the one known as Yeshua. And just feel, and feel free to invite any others that you feel called to have in your space this day. Just allow those messages of unconditional love and higher wisdom to come and bathe your energy field with that higher consciousness. And again, inviting any heart healing that you may feel you are needing at this time. And let us also invite the presence of the benevolent star families who are here to watch over Earth. We call for the presence of the benevolent star families, especially the Pleiadians, the Arcturians, the Sirians, the Andromedans, the Lyrans, the Hathors, and the others who are really here to champion the evolution on Earth, that we may come into our hearts and our unity consciousness. We're so grateful for their energies that are supporting us now, and especially for the awakening of all of the star seeds or galactic volunteers who are here on Earth at this time, who are feeling the call to integrate more and more of the star wisdom that we carry. For all of the hardships that we're enduring on Earth, there are some really beautiful energetic transformations that are happening as well. And we're grateful. We're grateful for that medicine. And just allow yourself to feel the star families blessing and gracing you. Such an important part of our healing and evolutionary journeys is to really be embodying of the emotions and the feelings that we have as we flow through in our human condition. What feelings and emotions have been coming up for you in your journey? And just honoring them by letting yourself acknowledge them and feel them. To honor them as teachers, as avenues of expression and awareness. And here are a few queries to ponder in your meditation if it feels right for you. One is, what is falling away in your life now to create more freedom for living fully? What is falling away? Who or what am I ready to release in order to embrace something new? And how may I open to more love and intuition and creativity? And finally, how may I live and love more from innocence, joy, beauty, and bounteousness? And we invite you to stay in this meditative space for as long as feels comfortable for you, in complete honoring and love of all the angels and the guides, ascended masters, nature spirits, everyone who came through this day to support us in our journey. This is a powerful place of prayer where you may seed the universe with your prayers for your life and for the world at large. Just honoring that all the healing that you embrace for yourself contributes to the healing of all that is. And like no other time, at least in our lifetimes, this is the time to pray peace. Beautiful beloveds, I honor your journey. I honor the challenges and the conflicts that you go through to help grow your soul. These are just part of the journey right now and what it is that we are to learn from and to grow through. And just reminding you that experiencing conflict is not a sign that you have done anything wrong. And it is a great teaching tool for exploring how we're relating to life and to other people, just with the intention of getting to know ourselves more, of learning to love ourselves more, and of learning to show up as love more and more in the world. What a beautiful healing blessing to bestow upon all that is. I love you with all my heart. Blessings be, beloveds.